Have you looked at Backlinko's new study, the one that recently came out? Again, the number one factor when it comes to ranking websites on Google, backlinking. As a blogger, I have been obsessed with backlinking. But do you know what is more important than backlinking when you're just starting off? It's internal linking. So our today's topic is why internal linking is important for content marketing and how to do it right. This is Content Friday and I am your host Suraj Divakaran. Now, irrespective of whether you're thinking of backlinks or internal links, I like to think of them like bridges. Backlinks connect different cities or different countries. Internal link is a bridge that connects different parts of a city. Internal links are links that connect a certain page in your website to a certain other page on your same website. While we pay a lot of attention to backlinks, we sometimes don't pay the equal amount of attention to internal linking. And I think there are different reasons for which internal linking is important. Internal linking really helps you to sort of transfer that SEO juice within your website to different pages on your website. Now, if you don't do internal linking really well, what happens over time is that you will have a lopsided website. You will have a cross section of pages on your website which rank really well on Google and have high page authority, while there are cross section of other pages on your website which might have equally good content, but they might not rank as well as the other pages on your website. And because your pages are not linked really well, what happens is that SEO juice doesn't flow through different pages on your website. Now, I have got 3 or 4 tips that I wanted to share with you as to how you can do internal linking and do it really well. So the first one really is documenting your internal links. So whether you're starting off or whether you are an established blogger, you should have a process in place to sort of document all the internal links. So when I was starting off with my website, what I did is I sort of created an Excel sheet. That Excel sheet has list of all the URLs or new pages that I was creating, whether it's a blog post or whether it's a regular page on your website. It also lists in some other parameters like what are the keywords that I'm trying to rank for, the number of words in that particular page. Now, it is really important to document your internal links. Whether you're starting off or you are an established blogger, having a process in place would help you in long term. How this will help you over time is, let's suppose you're creating a new page. You would want to link back to similar or related searches. Having a document in place would help you to identify relevant and related pieces and link back to them. Without really having this documentation in place, you would really struggle to do this exercise. If you're an established content marketer who doesn't have a process in place for internal linking, you could use a tool like Yoast on WordPress, which allows you to sort of identify all the internal links that you can link back to when you're creating a new piece of content, or you could follow a document which allows you to do the same. The second point I really want to mention is that you have to sell each internal link. Now, what do I mean by selling internal links on your website? So you're creating an article, and that particular article you are trying to link back to another page on your website, which is a related topic. What a lot of bloggers and content marketers would really do is identify a keyword or phrase and embed the link of a certain page to that particular keyword or phrase. While there is nothing wrong with doing this, the challenge really is you're not creating a reason for someone to click on that link. Now, if you have to really go about selling an internal link, there are 2 aspects that you should keep in mind. One, you have to clearly tell the user where will this link take them. Is this link on the same website, or are you sending him to an external website? Yes, the user can obviously hover his cursor on the link to find out whether it's an internal or external link. But most of us browse content through mobile and nobody really makes that effort to understand whether this link is going to take him to an external website or is this link within the website. So one, you have to clearly establish that this particular link is on that same website. The second really is to sell the internal link. Now, a lot of content marketers and bloggers don't make an effort when it comes to selling internal links. Now, what do I mean when I say sell the internal link? So when you're writing the copy, make sure that the copy entices the user to click on the link. So here is an example. Let's say you have created a report, which report is on why internal linking is valuable. But in this particular report, you have studied over 100 plus websites, find a lot of data points to understand why internal linking is important. And now you feel that this particular article is really valuable for users. So instead of creating a single line which says something like, here is our report on internal linking, click here to know more. Now, this is an approach you can take to link back to this report. The other way around is you create a sentence before the link which sort of explains why this link is important. Now, suppose you could say, here is a report that we have created where we have studied 100 plus websites to uncover the most important aspects when it comes to internal linking. Click here to find more. Here, I think you are establishing two things. One, you are establishing that this particular link is on the same website. Second, you are clearly establishing why this report is important for the user to read. The third aspect that I really want to talk about is text links are more valuable than the links on header and footer. Google's crawler by default gives a lot of weightage to text links which are used in the body of the content over the links that the crawler finds on the header and footer of the website. And for people who really understand how the Google crawler works, it scrolls the website from top to bottom. And various studies including Moz, Backlinko, Ahrefs have found that in-content text links have more weightage than links that appear in the header and footer of the website. The fourth approach that I really want to talk about is the topic cluster approach. Now, besides documenting your internal links, you have to also identify the categories and the subcategories that you want to write on. What this approach really does is it divides your content into categories and subcategories. Now, it is really important to identify your categories and subcategories when you are starting off. Identifying your key categories will help you to sort of segregate all your internal links based on related and relevant searches. So, for example, if SEO is a topic that you're writing on, you will have to identify all the related searches or subcategories within that particular segment. For example, on-page and off-page SEO could be a subcategory within SEO. How this helps you over time is that by identifying relevant subcategories and categories, you can do internal linking really well. So to summarize, here are the four aspects that we have spoken of today. 1. Document your internal links. 2. To sell your internal links by writing a copy that persuades the user to click on the link. 3. To use in-content text links over the links in header and footer. 4. To use the topic cluster approach to segregate your site into categories and subcategories. So that's all, folks, for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.